Okay. Today I'm going to go over two things. I was introduced to this texting language that can convert text to mathematical symbols, and I think it can save people a lot of time uh, instead of having to go up and open up math type and everything else like that. So some things it's better to just open up math type and do, but this is worth taking a few minutes and experimenting with. So I'm going to go over two things. One is how to take text like what you see here. It might look confusing at first, but trust me, it's not. And then you hit this toggle text button at the top, and it converts it to what you want it to be. So, and the second thing I'm going to show you how to do is to use the equation editor in Word and use the same texting language. So for instance, to get symbols and stuff that might take you a little bit longer. So for instance, if I got this and I want pi, I can get the symbol pi pretty quickly, just a couple clicks. Okay, so first let me start there actually. So if I want to insert equation quickly, the fastest way is to hit Alt NEI. And what's going to happen if I do that? Alt NEI. I've got a new equation down here. The biggest thing when you're using LaTeX texting is to use the backslash, okay? That lets the equation editor know that you're about to type something in. So let's say we're doing circles in geometry. I just happen to know that if I hit O dot and then hit the space bar, I get the circle symbol, okay? So you can search this pretty easily. I've pulled this up to show you. These are all the commands for all the Greek letters, for instance. Here's some binary operational, so if you need a plus minus sign, you can just hit Alt NEI backslash PM, hit the space bar, and you're going to get a plus minus sign. So things that you use on a regular basis, you can get to a lot easier than maybe searching through all the symbols and stuff like this. I don't know why anybody would do backslash colon instead of just hitting the colon key, but you know. You can, if Duke starts his bridge club, here's all the clubs and the diamonds, the hearts and the spades. He could, if he's teaching a bridge lesson. But anyway, you can get a reference like this. You can print it out and learn a couple commands and probably type some stuff in. So for instance, if I'm an algebra 2 teacher, and I do Alt NEI, and I do backslash PM space bar. There's my plus minus sign, and it's a little bit faster. That is the you can also, if you're doing a quick thing in calculus, you could do Alt NEI backslash int is integer, okay, but I'm sorry, not integer. Int is integral. But depending on how many integrals you want, you can just add i's to the front, for instance. And when you go to the end and hit the space bar, it's going to give you all the integrals, as many integrals as you've typed I. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. With a little bit more research, I realized that this texting language is also used with math type. So if you open up math type, under publish, there's actually this thing where you can toggle in between this LaTeX language and the picture you're used to seeing. So there's a couple things, and I learned all this just by hovering. If you hover over here and read the text over toggle text, I'm just going to wait for a second. Should pop up. Well, normally if you hover over toggle text, what it'll tell you is that these money symbols are there to tell math type that you want an inline equation. If you just want like a picture equation, what they call the display equation, you use backslash bracket, dot, type in your function, and then you do backslash end bracket. But all this can be found. You don't have to memorize it if you just, there it is. If you toggle over toggle text, it tells you exactly how to do an inline equation or a display paragraph equation. Okay, so like I said, I've learned how to type in a bunch of equations now pretty quickly. So for instance, I know how to do backslash sum from, let's say, n equals 0 to 4, and I want the formula to be 2n plus 7, and then I type that all in, I hit toggle text, and boom. Whoops, I've messed something up. Let me toggle it back. I want this to be function, okay? And obviously I've got some things to learn, okay. But if I need to learn how to do this, what I'm gonna do is just start a regular math type equation. And the whole idea is that you can learn this on the fly then. So I do n equals 0, I go up to 4, I type in 2n plus 7, which is what I wanted. And then I can toggle back and I can see, oh, this is how you're supposed to type this in. But here's a great thing. If I want to create a worksheet, I can just go through here, type this in. I can then go change my limits. Maybe I want this to start at 1, and now this goes to 5, and I want a fraction. So what I'm going to do is backslash fraction, and I want it to be n over that, and then I want this to go to infinity. I want this to go to 7, and then what you can do then is you can actually just highlight all this and toggle text it, and it's going to change it all into the math type format that you're used to seeing, but it's a lot faster. So anyway, I hope you find this helpful, and again, you can learn this stuff just by going into math type, typing it in, toggling and seeing what the text is, and learn the language.